past few summers have had some exceptionally high heat days, and our heat waves have been longer and more intense in this region over the past few years.
This climate action plan is going to help create a roadmap for how we move forward as a region. It's going to allow people who are in our communities, in the business sector and in the government sectors to really make an impact in their carbon footprint.
So if people recycled more, a lot more things could be used again and the world would be a better place.
Reducing carbon emissions means changing all kinds of things about how we live, how we get around, how we use energy.
When we decide where we're purchasing our food, if we're purchasing local, seasonal, fresh produce, we're benefiting our health directly and also benefiting the sustainability and well-being of our local food system, which helps our community. When we make a choice to walk somewhere, bike somewhere, instead of driving somewhere, we're having an impact on the air we breathe, and we're also having a direct impact on our own health.
I personally carpool to work often with some coworkers. It helps to reduce traffic congestion and pollution as a result of that, so it improves the air quality of our city and our region. And when you're carpooling, you're with a coworker having a conversation and just enjoying the trip.
I'm proud to say I've been bicycle commuting for 8 years. There's also a benefit of being outside. It's improved my mood. I've lost weight. I'm in better shape. I quit smoking as a result of cycling.
I didn't feel the same kind of warmth and excitement about getting to work and energy about getting to work as I do when I ride my bicycle to work.
And by the time I get home at night, even though it does take a little longer than driving, I feel relaxed, and it gives me time to think, a little time to myself, and some exercise, which is kind of important. This past year, Squire Sanders was named by the League of American Cyclists as the first bike-friendly business in Northeast Ohio, ever.
I think even if you're not bicycling to work, if you saw our bicycle racks within Key Tower and you pass by the 10 to 15 bicycles that you might see on those racks on any given day, just gives off a good vibe as you enter into the building.
Young, creative, and highly educated folks are interested in different aspects of their life, including cycling and easy green commutes. And so it's part of our recruiting and retention policies as well.
I try to ride my bike to work every day that the weather's warm. We'll see how long I last through the winter. Also on the weekends I tend to ride to farmers markets to go grocery shopping. It's about kind of your local engine is a more sustainable engine. The same goes for consuming or growing local food. You're not having exhaust and CO2 go into the atmosphere because you're transporting it from long distances.
One of our best vendors here is here every week. Eco Village Produce is located a few blocks away from our market. It's super fresh. It's picked the morning of the market, and you can get it that day and go home and eat it that night for dinner.
Everything is market price or less than a grocery store. It does come in fresh on a daily basis. Something that's been expressed to me at some of these senior estates is that they're on public transportation, and now you're trying to wait for the bus, travel your distance, get your items, and then lug them back home.
We are the only caterer in the state of Ohio that's a certified green company. So it's really a whole host of things that's way more than just the sexy aspect of using local food from local farms. We do things like encouraging carpooling and giving better parking to people who carpool. The boxes that we use for our box lunches are unbleached, and the wax inside of them are compostable. We give our compost to a company called Ridall. They have this cool little facility where they set it up, feed the fish, and then that filters the water, and then they use that water to feed the crops. And then our food waste ends up being their soil there.
The aquaponic systems that they're doing right inside the hoop houses, you can have these inside your own homes, and they're trying to show the community this is something that we can do together.
If I can let the little kids know, plant you a seed, a 79-cent pack of seeds instead of 79-cent a pound greens from Giant Eagles. You can eat all summer off of 79 cents.
We're out here today having a little celebration And we are also highlighting our earthen oven that I helped to build a couple years ago. That's one of my specialties here at the farm, is natural building. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to give these kids an opportunity to build something and also get to feel a little comfortable and confident that they can create things.
And this is our high tunnel, so that will give us the ability to grow fresh food year-round. And since we're an urban agriculture education program, it will give us more classroom space as well.
If you're not ready to take on a full-blown project yourself, join another program. Join another program and learn the ropes.
So people bring dishes, we put them all on this awesome table, and then it's a local food feast. We also have some education tables outside, people doing cooking demos, arts and crafts, talking about sustainability, talking about what people can do in their neighborhoods at their homes to help the greater 2019 agenda.
By creating the flea, we've offered stall after stall of availability for people who are young entrepreneurs, people who are starting their own business, particularly people who are upcycling though, who are adding value to whatever product they're making, and they have an opportunity here to sell it.
The really exciting part of that is that we are taking a specific section of St. Clair Avenue and bringing in new businesses and using upcycling as a strategy for bringing people together.
And so it's a really minimally invasive kind of project that really can turn a neighborhood over very quickly. I think Cleveland is the reason it's succeeding, because they want to see this and they want to support people.
What we try to do is find and leverage the people that are doing social entrepreneurial work, people wanting to think differently, to innovate, to co-create, and to help build those people's psychological muscle.
We have found that if you're going to work for a company, you're going to expect more than just a paycheck. You're going to expect a quality of life and a quality of business that's different than what we had in the past. But it will create positive work environments where people will choose to go to work, and that will encourage companies to do sustainable design and sustainable construction.
At Tri-C, we hear a lot of positive feedback from students and from employees in these LEED certified buildings that take advantage of the daylight, of how nice it is to have the natural light coming in. So you can see the exposed concrete floor, the concrete blocks in the wall, and the exposed ceiling and ductwork and piping. That was a conscious decision to be using fewer materials in the construction of the building. All the stormwater is managed on-site through on-site infiltration basins, and all the water that hits the building itself is directed out into those basins.
One of our main themes has always been trying to bring entrepreneurs and innovators together with companies and institutions that have resources to make an impact, to make things happen.
So basically we put out there, we say, here's a vision for your facilities for 2030, and we think you can get there. And you can agree or not agree, but let's just try. There's no penalty for not getting there, and it doesn't cost you anything to join the district, so you might as well give it a shot.
I would think that most of Cuyahoga County and Summit County would be encouraged to do the 2030 program. I believe it's important for people to understand exactly the type of energy use that they have compared to their neighbors.
Jurgens has been committed to the environmental movement for 25 years plus. We made our big commitment by coming to this site, the old Collinwood Railroad yards. We tore down the old buildings, shredded them up, and created the first 2 feet of foundation for our building. So when you talk about recycling, we not only live it, but we actually stand on it every single day. By working 4 10-hour days, they drive 20% less time on the roads, and as a result, that gas lane is safe for society.
Funny, we targeted wind, looking for high-volume stampings, but there really weren't a lot of high-volume stampings that we found out, but we found there was plenty of opportunity in solar.
See what it is that you're throwing away,
and what items you're throwing away that you could recycle or eliminate waste. That's a simple first step. Anybody can do that.
Within Talent Products, we retrofitted all the old metal halide lighting to T5 fluorescent. We were averaging $12,000 a month in electric bills, and now we're down in the $6,500 a month range. And most of the companies that do these retrofits will do all the paperwork for you as well to get the tax credit. So it's really quite easy.
The percentage of folks that are saying that sustainable practices is important to the future of their businesses is now 66%, so that's internationally. A similar survey done of US manufacturers just a few years ago, the number was like 16%. So Talent is unusual, Jergens is unusual. They're really kind of leading the pack here. There's 6,000 manufacturers in the 7-county region, and so there's a lot of outreach and education and awareness that still needs to be done.
A lot of the things we're going to work on are win-win situations. So you may do it because there's a climate change benefit, but you're really going to do it because it just improves your quality of life, or it helps you save money, or it's going to help create jobs in the local economy. One of my favorite examples is the idea of a street tree. It has all kinds of co-benefits. It'll help retain stormwater, it'll make your street more beautiful, it provides shade for the pedestrians, it attenuates noise and air pollution. Sustainability is about solving one problem, but doing it in a way that has multiple benefits.
Planting trees and building parks, great for human health, also great for mitigating the impact of high heat days.
More things you can do outside to affect stormwater really is disconnecting your downspout with a rain barrel. And rain barrels take the water from the downspout, and you can keep it, and then you can use that water to water your plants or your yard. And that water is actually better to water your plants in your yard because it isn't treated with the chemicals that we use for drinking water.
We on a really clean lake, and this boat float is a great way to show it. We heard about this online, and we went around the neighborhood and collected bottles and things like that from my neighbors' recycling bins. Yeah. So then we decided to start trying to make a design for the boat, and they didn't all go as we thought they would, so it ended up like that. And it worked great.
Today we're down at Edgewater Reservation doing a beach cleanup. We find a lot of trash on our beach and eventually goes into our water, so we want to help keep our water clean, and we bring people together to help keep our lake great.
It only takes a couple hours of the business owner's time to walk us through the space and identify what their concerns are. And then our auditors are really released, so to speak, to walk around the building and capture the necessary data. You get an immediate return on investment the second you flip on the light switch now that you've retrofitted your lighting.
They're blowing in insulation through the walls and putting insulation in the attic and the basement. You know, it made a lot of sense for me to just move forward with this work because I know within a couple of years I'm going to be able to have paid off the work that's done, and I know that those savings are going to continue on for as long as I own the home.
It's a holistic approach. A house is a system. It's health, it's efficiency, it's durability, and it's cost efficiency. I can show Jen on paper, here's what your house would perform like if in this scenario, and here's what it would perform like in this scenario. And if the upgrade cost is justified by the savings, it's sort of a no-brainer, which is how it worked for them.
Our old house was about 1,800 square feet. This house is about 4,500 square feet. Our electrical bills and our gas are less than the other house, and that pretty much makes us very happy.
And And if we look at the climate action plan and think about what we can all do, there's a piece in there for all of us, and there's a lot that we can all do together.
It's really not that hard. It's really a matter of making that first initial change, and then as you're doing it, everybody kind of sees that you are making an effort and you're making that change, and the employees get excited and your clients get excited.
I'd say that you start to understand the benefits immediately as soon as you start taking sustainable steps.
Our last newsletter had a little metric on all the money we've gotten for all the different waste streams, and it was a ton of money. You know, it's very significant. So there's no question it pays.
You can actively conserve water and turn off the faucet when you're brushing your teeth, take shorter showers. You can do tons of things at home to make a difference.
There used to be an old wives' tale that it costs more energy to shut it off and restart it than to leave it running. It's not true.
I believe in the vision that as a collective we can all do something great.